My girlfriend said, "From now on, I'll decide when we meet. Stop pressuring me." I didn't argue. I just nodded. 2 weeks later, she was standing at my door, crying, holding something I never thought I'd see in her hands. I'm 31, and I'd been dating Sarah for about 1.5 years when things started getting weird. We met through a dating app, had that instant connection people talk about, and within a few months, we were basically inseparable. Or at least, we used to be. The first year was great. We'd see each other 3 to 4 times a week. Weekends were always together. We'd cook dinner at my place, binge shows at hers, take random road trips when we both had time off. Normal relationship stuff. I wasn't clingy, wasn't demanding. I just enjoyed being with her. But around the 14-month mark, something shifted. She started canceling plans. "Work's crazy right now. I need some me time. Can we reschedule?" At first, I got it. Everyone needs space. I backed off, gave her room to breathe. Then the cancellations became more frequent. Once a week became twice a week. Our usual Wednesday dinners stopped happening. Weekend trips got postponed indefinitely. I'd suggest getting together and she'd say, "Maybe," and then never follow up. About 2 months ago, I finally brought it up. We were texting back and forth because that's mostly how we communicated now, through texts. And I said something like, "Hey, I feel like we haven't really spent quality time together in a while. Want to plan something for this weekend?" Her response came 20 minutes later. "I've been meaning to talk to you about this. I feel like you're always pressuring me to hang out. It's suffocating. I need you to give me space." I stared at that message for a solid 5 minutes. Pressuring her? I'd been bending over backward to be accommodating. I'd canceled my own plans multiple times to fit her schedule. I'd driven across town at midnight because she said she wanted to see me, only to have her fall asleep before I got there. I typed and deleted 3 different responses before finally sending, "I didn't realize asking to see my girlfriend once a week was pressure. Can we talk about this in person?" That's exactly what I mean. You always want to talk in person. Sometimes, I just need space to process things on my own. "Okay, so what do you want from me?" "I want you to stop asking when we can meet. From now on, I'll decide when we get together. I'll reach out when I'm ready. I need you to respect that." I sat there in my apartment, phone in hand, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. Part of me wanted to argue, to tell her that's not how relationships work. But another part of me was just tired. Tired of feeling like I was chasing someone who didn't want to be caught. So I wrote back, "Okay, I'll wait for you to reach out. Thank you. I really appreciate you understanding," and that was it. I put my phone down and went to bed. Update 1. The first few days were the hardest. I kept wanting to text her, to check in, see how her day was going, share some stupid meme I saw, but I didn't. She'd set a boundary and I was going to respect it. Day 3, I got a text from her. "Hope you're having a good week," I replied. "You too." That was the extent of our communication. No follow-up, no plans, just a courtesy check-in that felt hollow. By day 7, I realized something. I felt lighter, less anxious. I wasn't constantly checking my phone, waiting for her to respond or confirm plans. I wasn't rearranging my schedule around her availability. I was just existing. Going to the gym, meeting up with friends I'd been neglecting, picking up hobbies I'd put on hold. Day 10, she texted, "Miss you." I didn't respond right away. I waited about an hour, then wrote, "Miss you too. Want to do something this weekend?" And there it was, the test. She was reaching out, which is what she said she wanted. But something felt off, like this was a trial balloon, seeing if I'd come running back. I actually have plans this weekend. Maybe next week? 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally. Oh, okay. I didn't elaborate, didn't explain what my plans were, which was just hanging out with my buddy Mike, nothing special. I just left it at that. Day 14, 2 full weeks since our last conversation about her needing space. My phone rang at 10:47 p.m. on a Thursday night. Sarah's name flashed across the screen. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Hello? Hey. Her voice was shaky. Are you home? Yeah. Why? Can I come over? I need to talk to you. Now? Please. It's important. I hesitated. Every instinct told me to say no, to hold my ground, to make her wait like she'd made me wait. But there was something in her voice, something desperate. Okay, come over. She showed up 23 minutes later. I know because I counted. I watched the clock on my microwave tick forward while I waited, wondering what could be so urgent that she needed to see me right now after 2 weeks of silence. When I opened the door, she was crying. Mascara running down her face, eyes red and puffy, and in her hands, she was holding a pregnancy test. My stomach dropped. I'm pregnant, she said, voice breaking. I took 3 tests. They're all positive. I stood there, frozen, trying to process what she was saying. We'd always been careful. Always. She was on birth control. We used protection most of the time. How could this happen? When did you find out? I asked, stepping aside to let her in. This morning. I've been feeling weird for like a week. Nauseous, tired, emotional. I thought it was just stress from work, but then I realized I was late. So I bought tests on my lunch break and... Yeah. She collapsed onto my couch, still clutching the test like it was a lifeline, or a death sentence. I couldn't tell which. I sat down next to her, careful to leave space between us. Okay, so, what do you want to do? She looked at me, eyes wide and terrified. I don't know. I wasn't ready for this. We weren't ready for this. No, I agreed. We weren't. Silence settled over us, heavy and suffocating. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. I don't know if it's yours. Update 2. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. What? I don't know if it's yours, she repeated, quieter this time, like saying it softer would make it hurt less. What do you mean you don't know? My voice was steady, but inside I was crumbling. Have you been with someone else? She wouldn't look at me, just stared at the pregnancy test in her hands, tears dripping onto the plastic. Sarah, answer me. Yes, she whispered. I've been seeing someone else. There it was. The truth I think I'd known, somewhere deep down, for the last 2 months. All those canceled plans, all that space she needed, all those times she was too busy or too tired or too stressed. How long? About 6 weeks. 6 weeks. A month and a half. Right around the time she started pulling away from me. Who is it? Does it matter? Yeah, it matters. She finally looked up at me, and I saw something in her expression I'd never seen before. Guilt, yes, but also defiance. Like part of her thought she was justified. His name is Alex. I met him at a work event. We started talking, and it just happened. It just happened, I repeated flatly. You accidentally fell into a relationship with another guy while you were still with me. I didn't mean for it to happen. I was confused. I felt like you were always asking too much from me, always needing attention, and Alex was just easy. He didn't pressure me. He just let me be. So it's my fault you cheated. That's not what I'm saying. Then what are you saying, Sarah? She stood up, pacing my living room like a caged animal. I'm saying I made a mistake. I'm saying I'm pregnant, and I don't know who the father is, and I'm terrified. I leaned back on the couch, running my hands through my hair. This was insane. This was a nightmare. Have you told Alex? No, not yet. I wanted to tell you first. Why? Because She stopped pacing, turned to face me. Because I think I want it to be yours. I laughed. Actually laughed. A harsh, bitter sound. You want it to be mine? Why? Because Alex won't stick around? Because I'm the safe option? Because I love you, she said, and her voice cracked. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But I do love you. And if this baby is yours, maybe we could... No. What? No, I said again, standing up. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be your backup plan. I'm not going to raise a kid with someone who cheated on me and then only came back because she got pregnant. But what if it's yours? Don't you want to know? Of course I want to know. But wanting to know doesn't mean I'm going to play happy family with you. She started crying harder, sinking back down onto the couch. What am I supposed to do? I don't know, Sarah. Figure it out. Tell Alex. Get a paternity test. But you need to leave. You're kicking me out. Yeah, I am. She stared at me like she couldn't believe what she was hearing, like she'd expected me to forgive her, to welcome her back with open arms, to fix this mess she'd created. But I was done. Update 3. She left around midnight, still crying, still holding that pregnancy test. I closed the door behind her and stood there in my empty apartment, trying to process everything that had just happened. I didn't sleep that night. Just lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the conversation over and over. She'd been cheating on me for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of lies. 6 weeks of making me feel like I was the problem, like I was too needy, too demanding. When really, she was just trying to justify her own betrayal. The next morning, Friday, I called in sick to work. I couldn't focus, couldn't think about anything except Sarah and Alex and the pregnancy test. Around noon, my phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. Can we talk? I didn't respond. Another text an hour later. I told Alex. He wants to meet you. I stared at that message for a long time. Alex wanted to meet me. The guy who'd been sleeping with my girlfriend wanted to have a conversation. The audacity. But curiosity got the better of me. I texted back. When and where? Tomorrow, 2 p.m., coffee shop on Main Street. Fine. Saturday came. I showed up at the coffee shop 10 minutes early, ordered a black coffee, and sat at a table in the back corner. At exactly 2 p.m., a guy walked in. Mid-30s, tall, dressed business casual. He scanned the room, made eye contact with me, and walked over. You must be... He trailed off, clearly unsure how to address me. Yeah, I'm him. He sat down across from me, looking almost as uncomfortable as I felt. I'm Alex. I know. Awkward silence. He fidgeted with his coffee cup. I just waited. Look, he finally said, I didn't know about you when Sarah and I started, whatever this is. She told me she was single. She lied. Yeah, I figured that out yesterday when she showed up at my place crying about being pregnant. Did she tell you it might not be yours? He nodded. She did. And I told her, I'm not ready to be a father. I'm not ready for any of this. We've been seeing each other for less than 2 months. This wasn't supposed to get serious. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. So what do you want from me? I want to know what you're going to do, if the baby's yours. I don't know yet. I'm waiting for her to get a paternity test. And if it's yours, then I'll deal with it. But I'm not getting back together with her, if that's what you're asking. He looked relieved. Good. Because I'm not either. We sat there for another few minutes, 2 guys who'd been played by the same woman, trying to figure out how to navigate the mess she'd left behind. She really did a number on both of us, Alex said finally. Yeah, I agreed. She did. Final update. It's been 6 weeks since that night Sarah showed up at my door. 6 weeks of waiting, wondering, and trying to move on with my life. She got the paternity test done 3 weeks ago. One of those early prenatal DNA tests that can determine paternity before the baby's born. She texted me the results last Monday. The baby isn't mine. I read that text sitting in my car after work, and I felt this overwhelming wave of relief wash over me. Relief mixed with sadness, because part of me had wondered what it would have been like, but mostly relief. I texted back, "Okay. Thanks for letting me know." She replied, "Can we talk?" "No. There's nothing left to say. I hope everything works out for you." I blocked her number after that. Blocked her on social media too. Complete clean break. Through a mutual friend, someone who's stayed neutral through all this, I heard that Sarah and Alex tried to make it work for about 2 weeks after she got the results. But it fell apart fast. He wasn't ready to be a father, wasn't ready for the commitment, and apparently resented her for lying about being single in the first place. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents. She's planning to keep the baby and raise it on her own. I feel bad for the kid, honestly, but it's not my problem anymore. As for me, I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. I've been focusing on myself. Going to the gym regularly, reconnecting with old friends, even started seeing a therapist to process everything that happened. She helped me realize that Sarah's behavior wasn't about me. It was never about me being too needy or too demanding. It was about her issues, her inability to be honest, her need for validation from multiple sources. I also realized that when someone asks for space in a relationship, sometimes what they're really asking for is freedom to explore other options while keeping you as a backup. And I'm never going to be someone's backup again. I haven't started dating yet. I'm not ready. But I'm getting there. Taking it slow. Learning to trust again. Learning to recognize red flags early. Someone asked me recently if I regret how I handled things, if I should have fought harder to keep Sarah or been more understanding about her needing space. My answer is no. I gave her exactly what she asked for, space and autonomy, and in return, she showed me exactly who she was. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is believe people when they show you their true colors. Sarah taught me a lot. She taught me that love isn't enough if there's no honesty. She taught me that boundaries matter. She taught me that I deserve someone who actually wants to be with me, not someone who treats me like an obligation. And maybe most importantly, she taught me that sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you ends up being the best thing in disguise. Because if she hadn't asked for that space, if I hadn't backed off, I might have spent years with someone who was never really all in. Now I'm free, and that's worth everything. Edit. A lot of people are asking if I ever found out why Sarah chose to tell me first instead of Alex when she found out she was pregnant. Honestly, I think she knew Alex wouldn't step up. She'd been with him for 6 weeks. It was still new, still casual in his mind. But she and I had history. She probably thought I'd be more likely to commit, to help her, to be the responsible one. Basically, I was the safer bet. Glad I didn't take the bait. Edit 2. For those wondering if I feel guilty about not being there for her during the pregnancy, no, I don't. The baby isn't mine. She cheated on me. She lied to me for weeks. She made her choices and now she's dealing with the consequences. That's not cruelty. That's just reality.